All right, now let us see. How are you guys doing? Let me see. I want to see. All right. I'm trying to see how to do the chat part. That's what I'm looking for. Hi. All right. So that's all I'm doing is trying to find out how to do the chat from where I'm at. Let's see. Ah, there it is. Good to see you, Ghost Rider. And then there's Bon Bon, Jamila, Oscar. Hey, how you doing? That took a second. All right. Let me see. All right. Perfect. Hey, pure organic love. All right, so hopefully this is perfect and my crown is on. Not lopsided. All right, guys. So I see 12 of you here. Welcome. All right. So today I wanted to continue our discussion. We've been having really great discussions. Hi, Ingrid. Hey, Ramputh. Oh, if I butcher your name, I'm so sorry. so, yeah, I wanted to continue our discussion about being me, loving you. The last time we came together, we were on page 31. We stopped at page 31. Thank you, Bon Bon. Hey, Life with Brooke. So I wanted us to go back to 31, page 31, and go to page 46. There are a couple things in here that I thought would be kind of cool if we talked about as far as communication goes. Again, for those of you who haven't been here for our other live discussions, this is the book we've been doing. Being Me, Loving You. It's by Marshall Rosenberg. So we've been doing this book, we've been reading it together and then discussing the things that they talk about in the book and how they can pertain to our own relationships and maybe even help us with our own relationships. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be looking this way. I got a new phone. You guys probably noticed that the setup has been different. I got a new phone. And now I have to look this way, but I'm used to looking this way. So it's really messing with me. It really does mess with me when I'm trying to talk. Like, oh my goodness. All right. Hey, Marjorie, how are you? So let's talk about the first concept that I saw that I wanted to discuss with you guys in the book. On page 31, Marshall starts talking about hearing no. So today we're going to start off with talking about no. He says that it's amazing how it just turns people into beasts when they hear that word. They beast themselves and they beast the speaker. And it's a very small word, only 2 letters. Can anybody guess what the word is? And then everybody screamed, no. The word is no. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is, how does it make you feel when somebody tells you no? Because Marshall said a lot of times we have feelings and emotions around no. When somebody tells me no, I think I get angry. I think I get really irritated. It's like, how dare you tell me no? This is something that I want and need. You can't tell me no. So, how about you guys? Do you get angry or sad when somebody tells you no, or do you not care? How do you guys feel about no? If you ask your partner do something, hey Roxana, good to see you. If you ask your partner to do something, or if you ask your parent or your friend to do something and they say no, how does that make you feel? Hey, Spanish Eyes. Ghostwriter says he doesn't care. Okay, Christina said, I hate being told no. Oh, is that my Sag moon? Is that why I get mad? Oscar said I get mad because of my Sagittarius moon. But I do get mad. I'm like, how dare you tell me no? Especially being as though usually the person I'm asking, I do things for. So you especially can't tell me no because I do things for you. That irritates me. Ingrid gets spiteful. Let's see. Gienna. It means yes. Gienna ignores the no. Roxana gets them to reconsider. Ghost Rider said, saying no, that's how you know yourself. And the last one says it doesn't matter nothing. So I just like being told no, I'm a Cancer and a Pisces moon. Okay, so some of us really do care, and some of us get annoyed, and some of us ignore the no. That's a new one. Just ignore it. Like, you didn't just say no, you're gonna do this. Now that indeed is hysterical. But Marshall says that none of these things are going to work for us, which they probably don't. Ignoring it might work sometimes, but it's not going to give us the satisfaction that we want from the person doing it because they want to do it. So that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to a space where the person does it because they want to. So the next problem he says is that the problem is that the never the no. So no isn't the problem, he says. But it is what we tell ourselves because of the no. He said we read the no as rejection. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we read the no as rejection, he says. So if we read the no as rejection, then it hurts. So that's why people get angry. That's why people get hurt. That's why people ignore it. Because for a great deal of us, that no is rejection. So Marshall said that we both, in a relationship, we both need to be aware of that. We need to be aware that we take no as a rejection. And we also have to be aware that the other person saying no isn't necessarily a rejection. Okay, so that's important. That part is, when I read that, I stopped dead in my tracks. So she said her boyfriend told her no. She felt, like Marshall said, rejected. Now, let's get into why the boyfriend said no. This is why we have to respect the no. The boyfriend said no because he heard a demand. He didn't hear a request. He didn't hear a suggestion. He heard a demand from his partner. So he got angry and said no. So Marshall says whenever people say no like that, they're scared to death that their autonomy is being taken away. So he said no because he got angry because he heard demand and he felt like his autonomy was being taken from him. So that's very interesting. Hey, how are you? So both people have to understand where the other one is coming from. That's what he's saying. Yes, Brooke, I will. We're going to talk about the book first and get to page 46. And then hopefully we'll have time to just chit chat. That's the favorite part of the live discussion, is after we're done doing the business, we sit and chit chat. So anyway, there goes what both people have to be aware of. Thank you, Queen. Both people have to be aware. The person who's heard no, that one partner, that person has to hear. So let's say it's you and your partner, and you're the one that's receiving the no. So as the receiver of the no, you have to understand that they're not saying no because they're rejecting you. They're saying no because they feel like you're taking their autonomy and they heard a demand from you, not a request. You, as the receiver of the no, they have to realize that you received that as rejection. Hey, Dara. So these are the two important parts for these first couple of pages. Now, the next thing that he says is, okay, now we got our parts, right? We all know our piece. The person who's receiving the no and the person who's giving the no. Everybody knows their part. Now, Marshall says the next thing is that they now have to show empathy towards each other in the conversation. So he says the most important thing, of course, is for you not to think that this has anything to do with you. So the person on both sides is responding from their own stuff. They're not even responding to what you said. They're responding to how they feel about what you said. And further down, Marshall continues to talk about his own wife and how his wife says that no matter what she says to him, he can turn it into a demand. No matter how she words it, no matter what she says to him, he can turn it into a demand. So the next time you're talking to your partner and they're giving you a no, or your friend or your family member and they're giving you a no, try to remember to give each other empathy. That's what he asks. Give each other empathy. And when we ask what exactly is empathy, because I wanted to, you guys know I always want a working definition. So I was like, what exactly are they asking for when they ask for empathy? And we're going to see this more on page 46. They're asking for the need of understanding. So they want to hear that you understand what they're feeling. They want to hear that you understand where they're coming from. Hey, A. Smith. Thanks for your comments. Don't worry, later on I'm gonna read all the comments like I always do. I'm nosy, I always read them all. So basically, now we see both sides of it and we see the need for empathy. Oscar says that there is so many people who don't even feel empathy. Empathy is something that you really have to work on. To understand another person and to be able to, like it says in the book, to communicate that you understand them. That's why he has us in the book. You remember, he has us speaking to the person and then saying what we think we heard the person say. Even in this little reading section, the two people said that to each other. Can you repeat what you think I just said? And therein is the communication part. So let me read this to you. This is about empathizing, because this is one of the main themes they want us to get today, is how to empathize and to remember to empathize when we communicate. Only when he feels that you can fully empathize with how frightening it is for him to be in a close relationship, and that might take a long time, then maybe he can start to understand how frustrating it is for you to have needs and not be able to express them without having him turn them into demands. So now they're empathizing with each other. He's understanding where she's coming from, and he's understanding where she's coming from. They're going back and forth. Yeah, they're seeing things from each other's point of view. Exactly. And think about the conversations that you've had recently. Think about the arguments that you might have had recently. Did you and the other person really see each other's point of view? Think about it. Because the last argument I had, I think I saw their point of view, but I think I was more focused on my point of view. I think I was more focused on my point of view than I was their point of view. And I think that's the mistake that many of us make. But what he's saying is that if we can understand each other's point of view and then verbally empathize with each other's point of view, that the conversation will actually have better results for us both. See, what the thing about this book that I really like is that Everybody, it's a win-win. Everybody gets their feelings heard. Everybody gets their feelings understood. Everybody gets empathy. In this particular technique, if you talk and communicate like this, everybody gets empathy. So it's not like anybody loses because everybody's going to win. Everybody's going to get their feelings understood. So I love that aspect of the book. So for the last part, he's saying that once we empathize with each other, then the conversation can move forward. And maybe, just maybe, that no will turn into a yes. All right. So then we go on to page 35. This part is really important because it says here that we have to know, be clear on expressing our feelings and our needs. And we talked about this before. So some of you might be really good at this point because you've already heard me talk about it and we've been practicing this a little bit. So it says here, participant H. Participant H got a phone call from her boyfriend. And he said that he can't make it. They were supposed to hang out. And he can't make it because his daughter is getting out early and he has to pick up his daughter. So when he said this to his girlfriend responded with, "I have pain in my heart." So she responded by telling him that what he's saying is painful to her. So he asked her, why? Why is me saying that to you painful? And she said, let me see. It doesn't say, she doesn't give him a why really. He said why and then started talking before she could even talk, actually. He started talking again. He started giving her a bunch of other reasons why he couldn't come. So he's trying to make her feel better by giving her more reasons why he can't come. Now, anybody out there in the audience knows that giving me reasons why you can't do something is not really going to make me feel that much better. It might make some of us drop it and let it go, but it's not really going to make me feel that much better. I still want you to do what I want you to do. So I'm going to accept it, but I still want it. So she said, again, I have pain in my heart and I'm going to think about that. And I'm going to go call some of my nonviolent communication friends. So she's going to go call her friends and think about and process what he just said and try to deal with it in a way that is more empathetic and more going along with the book, Nonviolent Communication. So he automatically started to feel like he had to fix the situation. So the participant then goes into, what did you hear? What did you hear him say? So she didn't hear him say, I'm busy, I got to pick up my daughter. What she heard and what she felt and what she processed was, you don't want to be with me. You don't want to spend time with me. Hey, Crystal. That's what she heard and saw and felt. Instead of what he's saying. Because I would have taken that as he's busy. See you later. That's how I would have taken it. So some of you might have taken it the same way, and some of you might have been like her. Some of you might have had your feelings hurt. But I would have taken it, his daughter's getting out early. He got to pick up his kid. Oh, well. So she didn't take it that way. She took it as, you don't want to be with me. You don't want to spend time with me. So now her feelings are hurt. She heard, like we said before, a rejection. So Marshall said that she's not hearing through the ears of nonviolent communication. So as they continued on, they continued to talk about the situation, and he finally figured out that they weren't giving each other empathy. Period. All she wanted him to do was say that he understood how she felt. She didn't even want him to change his plans. After you read through the dialogue between the two of them, she didn't even want him to change his plans. All she wanted him to do was say that he understood how she felt. Likewise, he wanted her to understand that this is something that came up that he has to address. That's very important. It's his daughter. So he has to understand and she has to understand. But as you read through these scenarios, each person is asking for the same thing. Each person is asking to be understood and to be appreciated. So that's it. It's kind of easy, but when you think about it, when you're in the heat of the moment, we don't remember that. When we're in the heat of the moment, we start arguing, we start defending ourselves, we start making excuses instead of just saying, I understand. I understand. You would like to spend time with me, and right now I can't. I understand how you feel. And on her flip, I understand that you're busy today, and we can schedule something for later, tomorrow, another day, next week, whatever. Being more open and talking about it. And again, empathizing with each other. Because that's not what we do. Usually we go into some form of judgment. Oh, you're being silly. You're being a drama queen. You're being overly emotional. And on the flip, she could have said, you're being dismissive. You're being inconsiderate. We planned this for 2 weeks. Now all of a sudden you can't go. So if you look at it from the outside looking in, you can see how both of them are really correct. And if they just empathize with each other and understand each other, the whole argument melts away. This situation can be de-escalated the way Marshall de-escalated it in the book, or it can be escalated by them fighting and arguing about it and not empathizing with each other. So I thought that was really cool. Now, he said that in a situation like this, her being honest, he said, could have caused a problem that also needs to be addressed. Marshall said, now they get the feeling that their honesty creates problems for you. It's going to be harder for her to be honest in the future if she tries to tell you what's going on with her and you think you did something wrong. So if you look at this part, what they're saying is that when your partner comes to you and tells you how they honestly feel, if you go into some form of judgment, some form of ignoring, some form of negation, then it makes them feel unsafe to be honest with you. So you'll be like, why my partner won't be honest with me? Why my partner always hiding stuff? Why my partner never talks about things before it's a problem? Because you have taught them that it's not safe to be honest with you. Because when they're honest with you, it causes a fight. When they're honest with you, you hear demands. When they're honest with you, you try to fix things. So it's very, very important that when a person is honest with you, you give them empathy instead of judgment. That's the whole point of today's point as far as the communication technique is concerned. So I'm gonna definitely, I always do. I always practice this. After we read one of these, I always practice it. And I welcome you in your own relationships to practice it, to practice giving back understanding and empathy. And if you can get your partner to do exactly the same thing, you'll both win in the situation. Okay? All right, guys, before we do the last part, if you enjoy this live discussion so far, please give me a thumbs up. And I'm going to finish the last page. I'm on page 45. So we're only doing the 46. So we're going to talk about the last part, and then we're going to have a free discussion. And you guys can tell me, and we can talk, and whatever the case we want to chit chat about, okay? All right, so the last part here, it says here that the first thing to do when we start to get angry or defensive is to recognize that we didn't hear the other person. So he said that this is a wonderful tool for us. He said anger is a wonderful clue. It's like a wake-up call. As soon as I get angry or defensive or hear an attack or a demand, I know I didn't hear the other person. So for you, and for you when you're in this situation, if you start to get angry, if you hear an attack, if you hear a demand, if you feel defensive, this is a clue to you. This is a bell. This is a indicator to you that you did not hear what they just said to you. You heard your own stuff. You heard rejection. You heard demand. You heard something other than what they're saying to you. You're not hearing with empathy, is what he's saying. So instead of letting yourself snap or get angry or continue to spiral into the demand, he said to stop yourself and realize that you didn't hear the other person. You didn't hear that they felt the rejection. You didn't empathize. You're not understanding. So in this case, I would ask them to repeat what they just said. Because those feelings and emotions are your indicators that you did not hear what they just said. So the last part he says is to remember to give yourself and others empathy. He drives this point home. And he said that sometimes people are looking for empathy and sometimes they're looking for reassurance. And he said that to remember there are two different things, similar vibration, but two different things. So the first one he says, empathy is the need for understanding. Reassurance is you trying to fix a situation. Hey, Deanna, how you doing? Hey. So instead of trying to fix a situation, and you have to, the only way to know which one is which, he says, is for the person to tell you which one they want. So you can ask them or listen to hear, what do they want? Do they want empathy or do they want reassurance? Reassurance is kind of like they want you to help them fix whatever the situation is. You want to make them feel better, or you want to come up with a solution. But empathy is when they just want you to understand. Sometimes, hey Isabella, sometimes, hey, love you. Sometimes when people come to you to talk, they don't want a solution. And I get this a lot with men. When I talk to a man, he almost always starts giving me solutions. Hey, Roxana, which I don't mind because, I'm Aquarius, so I'm kind of masculine anyway. So when a man starts giving me solutions, I'm like, ooh, solutions. And I'm listening. I'm jotting them down like, okay. But some people, male and female, don't come to you for solutions. Solutions goes more along with the energy of reassurance. Some people come to you because they want empathy. They want you to listen to them. Sometimes your partners may do this, your children, your friends even, your parents. They just want you to listen. They want you to listen, and they want you to allow them to kind of like talk their own way through it. And when you respond to them, they want to hear that you understand, not your solutions, even though your solutions might be perfect. They might be extremely practical. You might have the right idea, but that's not what they came to you for. You can ask them in the course of the conversation after you've given them empathy. You can say, I have a solution if you want to hear it. And if they want to hear it, they'll say, yeah. But if they came to you for empathy and you've identified that that's what they want, even if you had to ask, give them the empathy first before you ask them, do they want the solution? So in the empathy, I would say, I understand what you're saying. I understand what has happened to you. I get it, And that's what I would do. I get it. I understand. And I would keep encouraging them to talk about their feelings. How did it feel when this happened? How did you feel when that happened? I would keep encouraging that in the conversation. And the more they talk about how they feel, the more understood they feel. And then when I see that they're satisfied, because you can tell by the conversation, the person is going to be satisfied or not. When you talk to somebody and they're satisfied after the conversation is over, you can tell because they're kind of relieved. If they're still just as anxious as they were when they started talking, they may not be satisfied. So when they are satisfied, then you can say, would you like a solution? Because as you were talking, I thought up 2 or 3 things that could be helpful. I just offer it. I don't just blurt it out. And if they want it, they'll say, yeah, sure, tell me. And if they don't want it, they'll say, I want to figure this out on my own. And they'll move on. They'll thank you and they'll move on. But they have your attention. Yes, Kara, they have your attention. They know you love them. They know you care. They know you have a solution if they want it too. So they got all of that. So that's the difference between empathy and giving somebody some reassurance. Okay? All right. So we are done. We finished up to page 46. So the next time we come together, we'll pick up on page 47. And this is about talking about things in public. We all know how tricky that can get. I've seen quite a few fist fights pop off from people who were having a talk in public. That we can use that to segue into our free conversation. So if you have anything you want to ask me or tell me, I'll be looking here. Let me see. Thank you so much. So let me segue into this time that I saw people trying to have a discussion in public. Oh my God. Thank you, Rosanna. What are signs that an ex-Aquarius man wants you back but scared to tell you their real feelings? They want you back. But let me think about that one for a second. What are some signs? One sign is that they keep on talking to you. If an Aquarius keeps talking to you, it's a good sign that they want you back, but they're afraid to ask you to come back. And it could be reasons why they're not asking you to come back. So I saw 2 people, 2 women, they were in a relationship, and I was at the gas company paying my bill. So I was sitting behind them in the row, and they were trying to have a discussion about their relationship. Why they chose to have this discussion in a public place, I will never know. Because it was all kinds of stuff going on, infidelity and all kinds of stuff. So they were talking about it, and one of them was more of a tomboy, and one of them was more feminine. And they were sitting there talking about the infidelity, and it was getting heated, Yeah, exactly, Roxana. We were in line to pay our bill, So they're sitting there and they're arguing back and forth. It got heated, and I was sitting there like, this is not going to go well. And the next thing I know, the more feminine one just socked her. She just socked her. And I was like, I was so shocked. Everybody was shocked. It was like, oh my God. And people started murmuring, and then she hit her again. Then they just started fighting. And the more feminine one had a wig on. Her wig fell off. I mean, it was ridiculous, guys. It was totally ridiculous. And I knew intuitively that they were going to fight because it's not good to have that kind of conversation in public. You see what I mean? First of all, you shouldn't be fist fighting your lover. I don't care if your lover is a man or a woman. If you fist fighting your lover, that relationship is doomed. Number one. I've seen a lot of people get really hurt like that. I saw a couple, I didn't see it, but they lived down the street from me and they killed each other. And I've told you guys this story before, it was in the paper. They stabbed each other to death on the lawn on Christmas Day over an argument. So it's awful. It's just awful. Anyway, so yeah, they started fist fighting in the gas company. So everybody is whispering and murmuring and oh my god, and security comes over and breaks the fight up. I'm standing there like, damn. I'm just like, damn. And they broke them apart. So then the feminine one, picks up her wig off the floor, stuffs it in her pocket, grabs the more masculine one by her arm, and they walked out together. And I sat there like, what kind of bullshit did I just, what kind of bullshit, dysfunctional shit did I just witness? So when two people in a good or a horrible relationship try to have a conversation out in public, it is never that good. So next time we have a live discussion, we'll talk about some ways that you actually can have a productive discussion in public. It was ridiculous. So somebody just said something to me about Cancer men and Aquarius women. I have done a couple of videos about Cancer and Aquarius and my feelings about Cancer. If you search in the search engine, you'll see probably like 4 or 5. My thing is that Cancer and Aquarius are very drawn to each other, but it's one of the more difficult, oh, I got a fly. It's one of the more difficult vibrations to be able to work out. There's some great parts to this vibration because the Aquarius isn't always very good with their emotions. And Cancers really do encourage you to tap into your emotions. They really do. Hey Jordan, how are you? You missed everything. You missed page 31 to 46. But welcome. You can look at it later. So anyway, Cancers and Aquarius have this thing. They draw together very commonly. I hear this question a lot. And it's because Aquarius have some issues with their emotions, and Cancers really do encourage you to deal with your emotions. The problem is that sometimes it's not for a good reason. Hey, Rosalind, sometimes Cancers who are in high vibration will encourage you to deal with your emotions because they're encouraging you from a standpoint of emotional health. It's emotionally healthy to deal with your emotions. But then there are the other ones. There are the ones who want to use your emotions to manipulate you. So if a Cancer who's a low vibration meets up with an Aquarius, they will do it to manipulate you. And it's not always easy to tell the difference between the two. And that's the problem. Because you'll be sitting there like, is this person doing this to help me or to control, manipulate, and abuse me? And you can only tell that based on their vibration. Is it a good person or a bad person? Is it a Cancer who is high vibrational or low vibrational? If you have a low vibrational Cancer, you better run from them because they're going to play with you and have you twisted up in a knot. You'll be twisted up in a knot messing with them because they'll mess with your emotions. They'll play with them like Doctor Strange, you know? And the next thing you know, you'll be in a situation where you want to kill them. Really, truly. And I was in a relationship, everybody knows, I was in a relationship for a long time with a very dark Cancer at a time in my life when I wasn't at my highest vibration. And it was a disaster. So if you can get with a high vibrational Cancer, you have a very loving, nurturing, and intuitive vibration, a home kind of vibration. You have somebody who probably will be damn good in a spouse. They'd be a damn good spouse if they're in high vibration. If they're in low vibration, they will destroy your life. So you have to figure out which one you're dealing with and then go forward. What about Capricorn and Aquarius? I divorced the Capricorn. So look, Capricorn and Aquarius is possible. It really just depends on how much Aquarius the Aquarius is. Because some Aquarius have certain placements that make them more grounded, more of a homebody. Those kinds would do good with a Capricorn. But I divorced my Capricorn because the other kind of Capricorns don't like it when you're too free. And many of us are very free, very independent. So, yeah, Jordan, we do make better friends with Capricorns than lovers. I agree with that 100%. Because Capricorns are pretty smart. I like talking to them and laughing with them. But in love relationships, they're controlling. Not all the time, but a lot of times. And it's weird to me because the Capricorn man, especially, or the Capricorn woman, the Capricorn person can be drawn to you because you're free and beautiful and happy, and they're so drawn to that. But then when they get you, they want to hold you. They want it all to themselves. They want to control. You can't control the beauty of the free spirit. That's why it's beautiful. You can't control it. Once you try to control it, it's no longer that beautiful free spirit anymore. Your beautiful fairy has turned into a caged bird. And that's what happens with Capricorn and problematic Capricorns and Aquarius. And this doesn't even have to be high or low vibration, because even some high vibration Capricorns will run into this problem because they want that beauty all to themselves, which I can kind of understand. And it stifles the Aquarius. So then the Aquarius, when we feel stifled, when we feel like our wings are clipped, we escape. We're not going to stay. An Aquarius woman that dated an Aquarius man, and she said it was a disaster. I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised because I dated an Aquarius man before. Some Aquarius men are really cool. I have, you guys know my godfather is an Aquarius man, and that's my buddy. Like, that is my ace, man. And I know some other ones. Since I've been doing Asking Aquarius, I've met a lot of cool Aquarius men. Like my boy Rich. Rich has the channel out here on YouTube, and he does the readings. Rich is cooler than a fan. So some of them are really cool, and some of them are really not. So it depends. Because with the Aquarius man, you could have a man who's playing games. Some of them play serious games, and I'm just not in the mood. I'm too old, and I've always been too old. I was born too old to be playing games with an Aquarius man. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Those are the ones I call the dark Aquarius men. Those are the ones that play those games. I can't do the games. Oh, Aquarius and Libra. Everybody knows I love Libras. Oh, do I love Libras? Oh my God. I did a video on them too. A lot of times, Libra and Aquarius can make it. A lot of times we can make it. That is according to the zodiac, according to the astrology gurus. They say that's our best match. That's what they tell us, that's the number one match. But the problem is that if you have a procrastinating Libra, or if you have a lying Libra, or if you have a Libra that has problems, because some of them could be kind of like basically bipolar, either bipolar disorder or just bipolar behavior, they can be problematic. And sometimes Libras will betray you. They say they don't mean to, but I'm still not sold on that. Sometimes they go along with who's ever in the room. So if whoever is in the room don't like you, they going right along with it. Then when you come back, they going right along with you. So sometimes that dynamic is problematic for me. The Libras tell me that they're not being disloyal, that they can just see everybody's point of view. Yeah, but if you can see somebody else's point of view, I can understand that. But why would you betray me in the process of seeing someone else's point of view and then come back to me talking about that person? Like, to me, that's just, yeah, that's wishy-washy. Exactly. And I have a problem with that. So if you have a Libra who's wishy-washy, then it could be problematic. But all of the relationships that I've had that were the most meaningful were with Libras. We understand each other very well, and we do well when we're alone. It's when you add other people to the mix that the disloyalty comes up. When it's just the two of you, it can be great. So a lot of times people tell me that's why it didn't work. A lot of people tell me they've been betrayed by a Libra, and then the Libra swears it wasn't betrayal. That's you would not believe how many times I've heard that story, and I'm just sitting there shaking my head like, wow, wow, Libra, wow, like just wow. So yeah, is your mom's a Libra, Jordan? Yeah, it could be a great relationship. It's just that is something that's extremely problematic. Definitely. Somebody else was just talking about Aquarius and Virgo. Aquarius and Virgo is another very common match. Virgos, I like Virgos because when they're on top of their game, I like them because they are masters. They're masters at what they do when they're on top of their game. Michael Jackson, Beyonce. I mean, they were some of the greatest performers of all time. So I really do enjoy that. I love when they're on it. I love it when they're on it. But relationship wise, I've never been in a relationship with a Virgo. For me, it just never happened. I never met one and been like, yeah, I could be in a relationship with this person. I do admire their work ethic. And they do get along very well with Aquarius as far as conversation. We both like to talk about and explore a lot of the same things. And they can be really smart too. I like them better as friends, even though they come up as one of our romantic interests. I like them as friends. I like them a lot as friends. They're really great in that capacity. So unless other things go wrong, I like them in that capacity. Because you guys remember, I was friends with the Virgo who stole from me recently. This was like in the last 6 months, and it's interesting because that whole saga ended. I just cut the relationship off, but she finally admitted that she stole the money, which I was amazed at, as I was not expecting that. But she did call me and apologize and admitted that she took it. And I was like, wow. So I thought, even though our friendship is over, I did respect that. I respected that tremendously. Let me see. I think I just missed one. What did you say? Aquarius and Gemini. I've never dated a Gemini either, but it's supposed to be our number 2 best match after Libra. But I've never experienced it before. To me, I can see how that could happen because we're both air signs, we're both imaginative, we both like to read and write, things like that. But Geminis are two different people. I have a hard enough time with one woman. How am I gonna have two? I have a hard enough time showing up in the relationship, communicating. I mean, come on. Now I got two. Geminis are two different people, literally. I had a friend who was a Gemini when I was in college, and I swear he was two different people. It was crazy. One minute he was a young guy playing games, doing pranks, laughing and joking. The next minute he was an old man, like acted like an old man. And so I never knew which one was showing up. So sometimes I would need the young guy and the old guy would come. It was crazy. But for a friendship, that was fine. But if that had been my lover, it might not have been so fine. So, that's something that I would have a hard time with. Like I said, I have a hard enough time with one relationship, much less being in two at the same time. So yeah, Gemini, unbalanced and unpredictable. Yeah, because you don't know who's coming. You don't know which twin is showing up. Sagittarius and Aquarius. Um, that's supposed to be a good combination because that's our secondary combination. Air is first and fire is second. So it will go Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and then it will be fire signs next. I have never dated a Sagittarius. My moon is in Sagittarius though, but I've never dated a Sagittarius. Um, I know a lot of Aquarius who are married to Sagittarius though. They a lot of them tell me that they have found success in that match. My thing about Sagittarius is I have always heard, and I said this in another video I did about Aquarius and Sag. I've always heard that Sagittarius are cheaters. That to their core, I have heard that about Sagittarius. And I did a video once where I talked about the top 5 signs accused of infidelity, and Sag was on that list. They are often accused of infidelity. And I've known many people who have had a relationship with a Sag and infidelity went on. One of my clients was with a Sag and he had 2 babies by 2 different women during the course of their relationship. So a lot of people I know, and I've counseled quite a few people. So I I can't say all Sagittarius are cheaters. That wouldn't be fair. But I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot about the men and the women. So, of course, everybody isn't going to be a cheater. You got millions of people, but it is something that I would call common, alarmingly prevalent. Those are the words I would use for it. Because whenever you're dealing with any particular sign, you can never say everybody in that sign is one thing. People say that to me all the time and it drives me crazy. You can't say that. There's too many other factors going on with the person, So you can't say they're all one thing. Yes, Jordan, Sagittarius are hard to get a commitment out of. Yes. Just like Aquarius. But see, my thing is that if you don't want to make a commitment, it's best not to make the commitment. Don't let somebody talk you into the commitment, because then you are going to be resentful of that person because they talked you into the commitment. That's what happens to a lot of people. A lot of people get an ultimatum, marry me or I'm out. If you're not going to marry me, somebody is deuces, And some people will be like, okay, I'll marry you. That's not the person to marry, because you have given this person an ultimatum. They're going to marry you because they don't want to lose you, and then they're going to resent you because they did something that they really didn't want to do. I've seen that with a lot of my clients, and that's really, really sad. So I've seen that very, very often. So guys, if you like this live session, please give me a thumbs up. And this session is going to be it's just being recorded. So later on, and after we're finished with it, about a couple minutes after that, it'll be available on the channel. So for any of you who came late and missed the first part or something like that, you can check it out later. I have to look that one up, Jordan. I haven't read about that one. That's a good one. I'm gonna put that on the list. We have quite an extensive list of videos that I have to do. I did rising signs. I did rising signs and I did moon signs. If you're not sure about your question, if I've done your question or not, um, search the search engine on YouTube because I have like 800 videos, and the chances are very high that I did your question already. How can I know is it relating to me when they are silent suddenly? You really can't, except for intuitively or if you ask them. Kara, did you just ask the question? A lot of times I've come to find people, the easiest way is just to communicate about something, but we don't always do that. Jupiter is in Sagittarius. I'm gonna look it up because somebody also asked me about Uranus. They asked me to do a video about Uranus. So I'm gonna look up Jupiter and Sag. I'm gonna look up Uranus, and I'm also gonna talk more about Saturn because Saturn and Uranus rule Aquarius. So I'm gonna do a whole video on each of them separately so we can talk about the influence of them on Aquarius. Because I've mentioned it briefly when I talked about the houses, but I'm gonna look real into it and just do a video just on that. Oh, Johnny, we already know that. It's just the fact that Aquarius is often accused of that. I mean, it is what it is. How many of you have heard that Aquarius is known for ghosting? How many of you hear that from other people or you heard it yourself? Because whenever I say Aquarius, that's the first thing people say is ghosting. You've heard it. You've heard it. You've heard it. I've heard it. Yeah. Yup. Eileen Photography heard it. Carrot Water Flow heard it. Everybody talks about it. Look at this. Everybody has heard about this. It's the number one complaint. Yes, it is, Roxana. The number one complaint about Aquarius is that we ghost. And some people think we ghost for no reason. That's why I did those videos where I told you guys why Aquarius ghosts. Because there are reasons. Yeah, I think so, Brooke. That sounds like that's what he's doing. Did you ask him? Ask him. Flat out ask him. Why are you calling me? Ask the question. I would just be like, why are you calling? Scorpio? Okay, Johnny, if you say so. Okay. I ain't gonna argue with you. I would just move on. All right, sacred Saturn. Saturn is about to go direct. Okay. Yeah, because I have the Witch's Handbook somewhere over here, and all of those are in it. So what I'll do is I'll research it, and in the next couple of weeks, because we have a very long list of videos you guys asked for. So I'll work all those in. I think we have a list of like 30. We got like 30 things on there. And also for the witch trials, I think I have like 20 movies you guys want me to look at. So we got a lot of videos. You guys have given me enough video ideas to last another year. Capricorns are cheaters. Capricorns, yeah. Yeah, they get that argument very often. Yeah. I've heard that a lot too. Capricorns are very interesting to me. I grew up surrounded by Capricorns. My mother is a Capricorn. My favorite grandmother is a Capricorn. She's my favorite person in the world is a Capricorn. My grandmother, she's a Capricorn. My sister is a Capricorn. The man I married was a Capricorn. So I've had a lot of experiences with them. One thing I like about Capricorns the most is they give you the nicest presents. Y'all know gifts are my love language, and they give me the nicest gifts. They give me the nicest gifts. I mean, Capricorns will give you a beautiful present. My mom will make you the nicest basket and wrap it up so pretty with chocolates, and they give really nice gifts, and sometimes very expensive gifts too. Capricorns, they that's one thing I really do like about them. No, Oscar, I'm good on that. I mean, I would never say I would not date a particular sign, but it wouldn't be my first choice, and I would have to look at their whole chart. Before I took them seriously, I would have to see their entire chart seriously, because Capricorns and Cancers, I've had a number of, like I said, experiences with. So I would really have to look at their chart. I wouldn't say no to them, but I would want a lot more information. Definitely. I would a lot more information. I would need to see what their moon is and their Venus and their rising sign, because it really depends on a number of things. I would prefer to have a Libra. I would love to meet a sweet Libra who wasn't wishy-washy. I would love that. Like, I seriously would. I would love to meet somebody like that. Oscar, I did that video. I can't remember it now, but I did the research and I did that video. If you look for it, Ask an Aquarius, top 5 signs who cheat, you'll find it. Cause I did research on it. I asked people. I did a poll. I did that one already. I did that one about 6 months ago. Have I ever dated a Leo? No, but I really like Leos. Oh, I love Leos. I've never dated one though. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I did. I always say no because I always forget the Leo. I dated her for 3 months. She wasn't my favorite. She was definitely not my favorite. There's a lot of Leos I like a lot more than her, so I always forget her. But yeah, but I do like Leos. I would definitely date another Leo. I definitely would. The one I had, nah. My Mars, I don't remember. I'll look it up later on, and I'll answer your question in the little section, because I'm gonna have to look it up, because I'm talking on the phone and the phone has my chart on it actually. So I'll look it up and I'll let you know. I don't remember my Mars. I remember my rising sign, my moon sign, and my node. My node is in Libra, which might be how come I have that connection with Libras, because my node is in Libra and my decan is in Libra. So that could be another reason why those areas connect for me. Somebody in a different decan might not feel the same connection. How do I feel about Pisces? All right, so I'll answer this one and then we'll get going because we've been here for an hour. Okay, Pisces. I like Pisces. They have a tendency to connect with me on a spiritual level, because Pisces are into spirituality, just as deeply as I am. One of my mentors was a Pisces, and she did the same kind of stuff I do, readings and potions and, all kinds of stuff like that. So I like them, but I, again, like them as friends. I like them as friends. Whenever I've dated a Pisces, and I did date one, the first person I ever seriously dated was a Pisces, and it didn't go well. It wasn't a bad relationship. He wasn't a bad person. I was 13. Okay. I mean, we were kids and we went together for 2 years, and he was nice. He was very nice to me. He gave me really nice gifts. I love anybody that gives me nice gifts. He gave me really nice gifts. He was good in those kind of ways, but we weren't compatible. So we had a good relationship as far as that's concerned, but we weren't really compatible. The thing I didn't like about him was he played too much. He had too much play in him. practical jokes. It was just too much. And I'm a trickster. So, I mean, I love a good joke, you know, but it was just too much. It was all the time. And his mother used to always tell him, life is not all fun and games. Because that's how he acted. He acted like life was just a joke, you know. And he just played too much. And so I would get angry and we would start arguing. Yeah, right. I just like gifts. That is true about me though. When I did, there's that book called The Five Love Languages. That's why I always say gifts are my love language. When I did the quiz and I read the book, my number one was gifts, which made me laugh because I was like, "That's true. That is really true. That's the biggest love language." As far as I'm concerned, because everybody's different. Some people don't even like gifts. Some people just want your time and your attention, your verbal, you know, affirmations. I love gifts. And not even just like gifts, like big things or expensive things. Just like even if they bring me a one rose, I'm like, oh my God. You know, like just for some reason, probably because my mother, the Capricorn, always gave me these great gifts. So I think for me, they translate energy of love, according to the book. Not Marshall, Chapman. His name is Chapman. Chapman says that it shows love to the receiver, and he said that at some point in my evolution, I learned that gifts have love attached to them, and we all know that they all don't. We all know that, but a lot of times I see them as somebody showing me their love. Now, sometimes people try to buy you with gifts, and I'm Aquarius, so I know the difference between them giving them to me because they want to buy me and them giving them to me because they want to show love and appreciation. So when it is the latter is when I really, really like them. So, according to the book, I should marry Santa Claus. You know something? He probably give me gifts every day. That would be a cool relationship. So yeah, so when it comes to Pisces, I do like them, but I like them more as friends. Why are people obsessed with Aquarius? They are. They really, really are. I think it's just our energy. They are. People talk a lot of shit about Aquarius too. If you go online, you'll see a lot of people calling us Satan. They talk bad about us sometimes, but they still in our face, y'all. So we can't be that bad because they still calling us. They still want to spend time with us. You know, they're still all in our face. They still trying to date us. They still trying to marry us. They talk shit about us, but they all over us. You know. Let me see. Did I miss one? Let me see. Let me see. I thought I missed the question. John A. D. Did I miss the question? If I did, you can cut it, paste it, put it back in. I'll look at it now. But yeah. They're always after us. They're always seeking us out, you know. But they always talking shit about us. So I feel like we can't possibly be that bad, you know, if they're always talking about us. If they always got our name in their mouth. Yeah. Yes, Roxana, yeah. But we're so sought after. So I'm like, hey, we can't be that bad if everybody's trying to bag us. It can't be that bad. But I do think that the dark Aquarius, the low vibrational ones, do give us a bad rap. Because the low vibrational ones are so no holds barred. They're so wild. They're so callous with their behavior that the rest of us, they got us out there looking crazy. So I think that's how come the people who don't like us, if a person does not like an Aquarius, I automatically know that they met a dark Aquarius. And when I start to ask them why, it's always dark Aquarius bullshit. Yeah, exactly, Roxana. Yeah, Roxana. It's exactly. It's that dark Aquarius shit. That lying, detached, running off from them, the constant ghosting, the cheating. They have all these behaviors that, in my opinion, a lot of dark people have. Those kind of low vibrational people have those behaviors. But when it's an Aquarius, we're kind of, when we're dark, we're at our worst. We're real, like, we're real diabolical with it. That's why they call us Satan, because we're really sneaky and really diabolical, kind of almost like the Cancer. Yes, it's the low vibration of every sign that gives them a bad name. Whatever sign you don't like specifically, I bet you dealt with a low vibration person from that sign. Because I believe that high vibrational people from every sign are cooler than a fan. Oh, compatibility with sexes. Yeah, if you look at every zodiac sign, the masculine and the feminine does have a touch of difference. Like, for example, I did a poll one time and I asked people, who do you have more trouble with, Aquarius men or Aquarius women? 90 something percent, and this is still a poll in the it's a poll under the community section. And I said, who do you have more trouble with, Aquarius men or Aquarius women? 90% said Aquarius men. So there is a difference between the men and the women, and sometimes a big difference. Like with Libras, I find male Libras to be more charming than female Libras. So you will find some nuances with the men and the women of every sign, but it's more similarities than not. What makes the dark Aquarius change? I did a video and I talked about that. I talked about how a dark Aquarius can change, because I had a lot of dark Aquariuses emailing me. He wanted to change. So I did a video for them. So search that one, and I broke it down. I explained all of it. Basically, they have to want to change. It's an internal process. And then they have to go through the steps of changing. All right. And I had one more question I was going to answer. Where'd it go? I think it was, did I already answer it? I did the compatibility question. Oh, okay, I did the dark Aquarius question. And that was it. Take care, Queen. It's time for me to go too. So I'm going to get going. And remember, guys, come back soon because I have a lot more to say. If you didn't already give us a thumbs up, please give me a thumbs up for this video when you can. And I'll be back tomorrow with some more videos. And I'm going to do another live discussion in 2 weeks so we can pick up in our book, and hopefully we'll be finished it within the next month or so. Okay? So thank you all for being here. Thank you for a great discussion. We had a wonderful, thank you, Laura. Great discussion. It was wonderful. And I will see you all next time. Bless you all. Yeah, there is a playback, there is one. It was a lot of fun. Thank you all for being here. Take care, Roxana and Kiko. I am Kiko. Life with Brooke. Let me see. Mrs. Vanderbrink. All right, everybody. Namaste, Jordan. Namaste, all. Oh, and don't forget to check out the Witch Trials. I did a really great episode the other day, and I made it available to you guys. I made it public so everybody can see it. It has a very powerful message. See you guys later.